As we journey through life's challenges, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and uncertain about our future. We may find ourselves facing difficult circumstances, feeling like we're walking through a dark valley. It's during these times that the promise of biblical wisdom can be a beacon of hope. The Book of Psalms reminds us that though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Psalm 23. These words offer reassurance that even in the darkest moments, we're not alone, and that God is always with us. However, it's one thing to read these comforting words on a page. It's another to truly internalize their meaning. How can we practically apply this wisdom to our lives when faced with adversity? In this article, we'll explore the ways in which biblical principles can guide us through life's trials and tribulations. By examining Scripture and drawing from real-life examples, we hope to provide you with a deeper understanding of how to trust in God's presence even when the road ahead seems uncertain. Whether you're facing a specific challenge or simply seeking a renewed sense of purpose, this guide will help you cultivate a stronger faith in the face of adversity. Let's embark on this journey together, exploring the timeless wisdom of Scripture and how it can be a source of comfort and strength for us all. Biblical context and key passages. The promise, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, Psalm 23:4, is more than just a comforting phrase. It's a testament to God's presence in our lives, even in the darkest moments. This verse, spoken by King David in the Psalms, highlights the importance of trusting in God's sovereignty, especially when faced with adversity. The valley of the shadow of death is a metaphor for any challenging or difficult situation we may encounter. Yet, despite these circumstances, we're encouraged to fear not because God is always with us. In addition to Psalm 23:4, other key passages in Scripture that emphasize trusting in God's presence include Isaiah 41:10 and Hebrews 13:6. These verses remind us that our faith should be grounded in the Lord's unchanging character, rather than our own limited understanding of a situation. When it comes to applying this wisdom to our lives, it's helpful to remember that trusting God doesn't mean ignoring our fears or doubts. Rather, it means acknowledging them while still choosing to place our faith in His goodness and sovereignty. By doing so, we can find comfort and strength in the midst of adversity. Isaiah 41:10, so do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be frightened, for I am your God. Hebrews 13:6, so we say with confidence, the Lord is my helper. I will not be afraid. What can mere mortals do to me? Meaning and key themes in Psalm 23:4, King David declares that, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. This statement is rooted in the understanding that God's presence is a constant companion, even in the darkest of times. The phrase, valley of the shadow of death, serves as a metaphor for any situation where we feel lost or overwhelmed. It can represent a difficult season in life, a challenging decision, or a sense of uncertainty about our future. Despite these circumstances, David's declaration reminds us that we don't have to be controlled by fear. Instead, we can choose to trust in God's sovereignty and goodness, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. This theme is echoed in other key passages, such as Isaiah 41:10 and Hebrews 13:6. In these verses, we're reminded that our faith should be grounded in the Lord's unchanging character, rather than our own limited understanding of a situation. When we trust in God's presence, we can find comfort and strength in the midst of adversity. This doesn't mean ignoring our fears or doubts. Rather, it means acknowledging them while still choosing to place our faith in His goodness and sovereignty. This is a vital distinction, as it allows us to respond to challenging situations with confidence and hope. By doing so, we can walk through the valley of the shadow of death without fear, knowing that God is always with us. Practical application today. So, how can we practically apply this wisdom to our lives? One key principle is to focus on God's character rather than our circumstances. When faced with adversity, it's easy to get caught up in the specifics of a situation and lose sight of the bigger picture. Instead, we can choose to remember that God is always good, even when things seem dark or uncertain. This helps us to cultivate a sense of trust and faith, which can carry us through even the most difficult times. Another practical application is to acknowledge our fears and doubts, while still choosing to trust in God's sovereignty. This doesn't mean ignoring them or pretending they don't exist. Rather, it means facing them head-on with the knowledge that God is always present. Faced with a difficult situation, take time to reflect on God's character and promises. What does His Word say about times of uncertainty? Choose to focus on God's goodness and sovereignty, even when things seem dark or uncertain. Acknowledge your fears and doubts, but also choose to trust in God's presence and power. Conclusion. In conclusion, the biblical promise, "Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil." Psalm 23. 4 is a powerful reminder that God's presence is always with us, even in the darkest moments. By focusing on His character and promises, we can cultivate trust and faith to carry us through life's challenges. As we navigate adversity, let us remember that trusting God doesn't mean ignoring our fears or doubts. Rather, it means acknowledging them while still choosing to place our faith in His goodness and sovereignty. By doing so, we can find comfort and strength in the midst of uncertainty. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be frightened, for I am your God. Isaiah 41:10.